So the other day I was paddleboarding around the pier heads of Holland State Park, from the state park side down to the south side at Big Red, if you're familiar with the landscape. And it's a beautiful paddle. But at this time of the year, especially with the big rains of the spring, there's a distinct part of the water where it's clear and beautiful, and then all of a sudden with the currents, the water is dirty and murky, and it's when you approach the opening of the channel from the water that runs from Lake Mac out into the Big Lake. And it's because Lake Makatawa runs into the Big Lake, and Lake Mac is the pooling place of the whole Makatawa watershed. Basically all the people living in Zeeland and Holland, all of the water that they use flows into the Makatawa River towards Lake Mac and out into the Big Lake. And in that moment I thought about that. In part because it was Earth Day last week, and in part because tonight we are doing our work day at Upper Makatawa, which is where the Makatawa River runs all the way out to Lake Mac and towards the Big Lake. And it reminded me that the stewardship that we do there, it benefits not only that exact location, but also all of the water in the people downstream. I thought about that, how we are all connected through our natural resources like lakes and rivers and forests. And to steward those resources is also a means of serving the people who are affected by them. And I think that's an important realization for the spiritual life, the reality that we are all connected through creation and the Spirit. In fact, the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, a river is one of the primary images for the Spirit. And even Jesus stood up and proclaimed these words, "Out of his heart will flow rivers of living waters." Now he said this about the Spirit. And so it just reminds me, in an age where things feel and seem so individualized, and we often feel alone, or where we think the spiritual life is an individual experience that's just inside me, it reminds me that we are created to be connected. That we are designed for community and relationships in a deep web of interconnectedness held together by grace and mercy and love between each other, between the world, and between God. That in this world you are not alone, and that is a good thing. And even if you wanted to be alone, you are still connected to people, whether you like it or not, through the creation itself and through the Spirit of God. It reminds me of the words from the poet John Lucas saying, "God is my Father, and the Spirit the river that holds us together." So friends, be reminded today of the interconnectedness of all things and your beautiful place in it. Grace and peace, friends. See you at Upper Mac tonight.